And I think that is it. We are live. We are live. Welcome everybody to another live episode of the Social Impact Plight of the Black Man in America. Excuse me. I'm your host Deontay Cooley with my co-host Brother Malcolm Podium. How you feeling, Brother Malcolm?
Yes, sir. Feel pretty good today. We got a lot of topics and we ready to rock and roll.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's a lot of different things for us to discuss here today. So we want to make sure everybody can hear us. We do the sound checks and all of that good stuff. Make sure we got the camera right, got everything rolling. I believe we are now scrolling live on the YouTube channel as well. Make sure we checking all the settings right now. Make sure everything is good. I believe everything is set. I see we posted, we live on the Facebook. So again, thank you to everybody for joining us. Thank you to everybody for tuning in and continuously following along with us as we've been building this, our show. And as we've been having these conversations, it's been great because the engagement and the outreach and the different how things have been building has just been fantastic. So we appreciate everybody who's been tuning in, who's been chiming in, who's been staying engaged with us, because it is definitely important for us to make sure that we keep our community informed on different things that are going on, not just right here in Erie, Pennsylvania, but across the United States of America. And I know, there's a couple of different things that, Brother Malcolm, he's in tune with a lot of different things that I'm not. And I know it was some things that you wanted to talk about. So, I figured go ahead and let, Brother Malcolm hop in and take hold of the conversation with what you got for us, brother.
So, I got my ear glued to a couple things that's going on national with the specifics in Texas. And we're talking about the Carmelo Anthony case. So I made a post on my Facebook page. And if y'all go to my page, please go to that post, check it out. It is over 12,000 views. It's probably over 200 comments. And I am just giving my opinion on what I thought happened with that Carmelo Anthony case. And I started to take it down because I'm getting some comments in there that people coming rough. But then again, I thought about it like, nah, we gonna keep this up because we need to show people how people really is acting now. The world has changed. This case has changed a lot of people. There's opinions on black people's side, white people's side. You have people that chose sides. I've made a couple comments on that page, and I've been called a black racist. Mm-hmm. I've been called, what do they call you a baiter? Right. I've been called a baiter. I've been called a nigga with the heavy ER over so much this past week, bro. That's a whole nother topic.
So when we talk about the case, though, catch us up to speed for the people who aren't aware of what's going on with the whole, with the Carmelo Anthony situation. Catch us up to speed and let us know what you've been going through and what's happening.
So Carmelo Anthony, at the time this situation happened, he was 17. Okay. He was at a track meet somewhere in Texas, high school track meet. It started to rain. He went under a tent. The tent that he went under was opposing team's track tent. Okay. Two brothers approached him. Let me take that back. Two twin brothers, Caucasian men, young men, approached him, basically told him he needed to leave. He said he wasn't leaving. They approached him, pushed him. He said, if you touch me again, it's going down.
Right.
I believe the young man touched him. Carmelo stabbed him. He dies. So we're here present day. He's 19 years old. He just went to court the other day. They had a trial. It was actually supposed to last 2 weeks.
The trial was supposed to last 2 weeks.
It was supposed to be over today. We know it lasted about 4 to 5 days. Mm-hmm. They found him guilty. They deliberated for 3 hours. They came back with a guilty verdict. He had to pick either the jury pick how much time to get or the judge.
So hold on, wait. So you say like the verdict came, so they deliberated. How long did they deliberate for? Like it was okay, we go up.
3 hours.
So all right, boom, everything's presented. So how everything was presented? How was the time frame of the presentation?
Say it again.
So like, what was the time frame of the presentation? Because I know he's been locked up for 2 years. So then they go to trial, right? Mm-hmm. How long was the hearing?
4 or 5 days.
4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
Then they go back and deliberate. 3 hours.
3 hours.
Come back. Guilty.
Go back. Same day. 35 years.
And he took it to trial. Was there ever any pleas or anything like beforehand?
No pleas.
So it was just like you either about to fight this and
Or-
beat it,
Yeah.
or fight it and lose. Like ain't no you want to plead down anything less.
Right. Nothing. Didn't give him a chance. On top of, we're talking about, you get a jury of your peers.
Mm-hmm.
None of his peers was in that jury pool.
Yeah, I read something somewhere where they said like they over like 600 people.
Yes.
Over 600 people or something like that was in the jury pool, and of those 600 people, they couldn't get anybody of color, so the jurors were all white.
Right. Now we're going to take it back because I've been saying that it was an all-white jury.
Right.
But I got word that it was some Asians
Okay.
and Indian
Okay.
in the jury pool. So if we're taking that, now you got people spinning this saying, well, he was in front of his peers. You had an Asian and Indian descent
Right.
on the jury pool.
Okay.
My reply is like, how is that I'm his peer.
Right.
How is an Asian or an Indian his peer?
So this was for argument's sake, because sometimes that's what people will do. They'll try to say, okay, there's some diversity because it's not white, and they think that we're supposed to understand that because it's not white, that means it's good for black.
So mind you, he's in Texas.
Right.
He's in a Republican MAGA county.
Okay.
It's coming to the light that the district attorney, the family of the deceased, and the judge is friends.
Right. So he stood no chance.
None.
So then you say, so then the jury decides his time.
Right.
How does that work?
That's what.
So that's like a Texas thing? Because
Gotta
again,
be.
I know we ain't sitting here acting like
It's
lawyers and then like
Texas.
that's just information that we've been seeing on the news, on social media and stuff like that, right?
What I seen is they had the option of giving him anything from 5 years to 99 years.
Okay.
And they came up with 35 years.
But no, was there any justification as to where 35 came from?
No, none. So he's in the county. He was in the county jail, bro. Mind you, all of this is the same day. The next day, they ship him off
Okay.
to one of the prisons now. He was supposed to be in this county for 30 days for processing. They sent him off to a prison. Now they're saying the prison that he is at, the cousin of the deceased, one of the cousins of the deceased is the warden of this prison.
See, I did see something like that. I was watching and I seen something on there to where it was like the uncle or something like that was related to the young man who was shot. I mean, not shot, excuse me, who was stabbed and who was killed.
Right.
So it's like, again, he doesn't stand a chance.
No.
Doesn't stand a chance, right? And then I did see a lot of different people feedback who were like, oh, we from Texas. We already knew what it was or how it was going to go down and things like that, to where it's just like, it was self-defense.
Right.
That was the claim.
Right.
And self-defense, you can defend yourself in the state of Texas.
Right.
Okay. So you have the right, the ability to defend yourself in the state of Texas. Young man defends himself.
Mm-hmm.
This is what he gets 35 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when we think about it on the flip side, when it's against us,
Mm-hmm.
people are defending themselves
Absolutely.
against us.
So let's take it here. We got Trayvon Martin. We got Tamir Rice.
Mm-hmm.
We got George Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
When they were killed, white people were saying they deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, like
Mm-hmm.
y'all wrong for defending them.
Right.
Blah blah blah.
Right.
Okay, now we flip this scenario.
Right.
Me, and I'm going to speak for me. Me as a black man feels that he was defending himself.
Right.
So, in me saying that, I have people coming at me saying, I'm wrong.
Right.
He wasn't defending himself. He was the same thing we were saying about Trayvon, Tamir, and George Floyd.
Exact same thing.
Now they're saying that. So my argument with them is, okay, when we were screaming that,
Right.
where was y'all at? So
Right.
now y'all coming and y'all not just having a simple debate. Y'all calling me out my name.
Right.
Y'all disrespecting me.
Right.
Y'all, they to the point where they saying, y'all, the black people get food stamps. Like, so this is where it's
racist.
at.
It's turning racist.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. Like when different things like this happen in our country, it just it seems like it gives people an opportunity to kind of show a little bit more of how racist they actually are, or to show a little bit more as far as like what they stand for or what they won't stand against.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because again, I be seeing some of them comments and I be seeing some of them arguments and stuff that be going on. So it'd be interesting to see how like people get the they'll show their colors, you know, different people will show, you know, what's going on with them. And then certain situations come out to where it's like, oh, now I have the opportunity to be able to say what I want or to say how I feel, right? So like again, and then when you compare it to some of those other situations, it's like, what is self-defense supposed to look like for us as black men?
Absolutely. So let me show you this because I dug a couple of things.
We got some notes. Let me see what you got. What you got?
So in Texas, all these cases are in Texas.
Okay.
Okay. We have one 17-year-old young white male. He stabbed and killed somebody at his high school.
Right.
I believe he stabbed him. The boy tried to run. He chased him in the bathroom and stabbed him up. He died. They gave him a lesser, they charged him with murder, like they charged the young black man.
Right.
They dropped his to criminal negligent homicide. By them dropping that, they only gave him 10 years.
I see something like that.
Yes. His name is Casey Allison.
Okay.
They gave him 10 years. There's another case. This guy, the young 17.
Okay.
Stabbed somebody in Texas. His name is Jesus San Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
Charged with homicide.
Right.
They dropped it just like they dropped Casey Allison's.
Right.
They gave him 10 years probation and 30 days incarceration.
10 years probation, 30 years, and he killed somebody.
He killed somebody.
In Texas?
In Texas.
What else you got? Because it's going somewhere.
Them is that. So the first one, our young black man, Carmelo Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
They treated him like a murderer.
Right.
Went full blast.
Right.
Second case, Casey Allison. They treated him like it was an accident.
Right.
Gave him 10 years.
Right.
You can come home with your family.
Mm-hmm.
Third case, gave him probation. Serve 30 days, come back home with your family.
Yo, so that's crazy because like, what kind of messages is that? Like, I mean, for me, honestly, and I can't even ask you that question, but what I will say is like, with messages like that, and to me, it's like we don't matter or we're not important. And it's unfortunate that like I have to tell my young black sons like how to prepare themselves when they go outside the house or what to look out for or what to look forward to or what to avoid. You know what I mean? When it's just something simple as living life, because again, it was at a track meet. So regardless, these are athletes. All athletes. You know what I mean? To where like the racism is just it goes into sports, and then we talking kids like at the what was it? It was one situation you was talking about the other day with the water bottle, the young boy who got chased. But
South Carolina,
like water bottles, like you know what I mean? Like you can't be an athlete and be black. You can't be an athlete. I mean, you can't go to the store and be black. You know,
South Carolina. His name is Cyrus Belton. He went in the store to purchase something. They accused him of stealing a bottle of water. He was 14. They chased him out the store, and he ran 130 yards. And the owner of the store shot him in his back.
Right. And then what's interesting, I'm reading the comments, says whether dude had a jury of his peers did not Carmelo Anthony case that established one because they put his hands on him. Just because you pushed me, I have the right to defend myself. Yes, but by using proportional force. So that's the thing, right? I did see a lot of different people, you know what I mean, saying that and arguing that. And that's just not here to go back and forth about it. But this is what I will say. And this is something that I tell my children. Just because you push somebody doesn't mean that they have to push you back.
Right.
Keep your hands off people because you can't explain somebody else's trauma, or you can't speak for when somebody else has some type of issues to where physical violence is a thing or trauma is a thing. And it's like, hey man, you can't expect me to respond to you how you think that I'm supposed to respond to you. Mm-hmm. So again, this is not even, you know what I mean? This is not to right is right and wrong is wrong. You know what I mean? Like if you come picking a fight with me, then you have to be ready for what you're going to get is what I was always taught and what I was always told. And then again, on the flip side, people who are defending that is just kind of like, these are some of the same people who are like, well, if I catch you breaking in my house, I'm going to shoot your head off, right? But then it's like, okay, it's okay for you to kill somebody if they breaking into your house. But if somebody put their hands on you, you got to figure out, okay, what level of force as if this is a young boy at that, for whoever that is making that comment. Like, this is a young boy who has to figure out in his mind, okay, what level of force am I supposed to use in this situation when it's like, yo, just let's keep our hands to ourselves. Because I tell my kids, like, don't think that just because you push somebody, they're gonna push you back. Sometimes you put your hands on people and you don't know what they go through.
Absolutely.
You don't understand what they've been through. And it's like people have the right to defend themselves.
Because basically it sounds like, they touched him. They invaded his space.
Right.
And people are saying that even though his space was invaded, he didn't have to take it to that level.
Listen, man, but that's what I'm saying. But how can you describe for me what fear for my life feels like?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, fear is a feeling that you cannot measure.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if I can prove that I've been violated and people are saying, yes, we watched the violation happen, and I say I was afraid for my life. I mean, you would think if people can use that as an excuse to just not touch people unless you're ready to go to certain levels that sometimes you can't return from.
Absolutely. And now, at what point do people really start understanding what we're saying? Because they don't understand me as a black man.
Right.
When I see this stuff,
right,
what it means to me.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff hurts me to the core.
Right.
And I do feel bad that the young man was killed.
Absolutely. So because again, we're talking two young athletes. Right. We're not saying it should have been a black-white fight.
Absolutely.
He should have killed him or whatever the case may be.
Right? But when they turn it into a black and white, this is turned into a black and white thing.
Right.
Period, point blank.
Right.
So if I'm on social media or any platform,
right,
I'm going to defend my black people.
As you should.
Because I feel that he was playing defense.
Absolutely. And I believe when it comes to the race thing, I think that's when you bring the race into consideration when it comes to the system. As far as the situation that took place, it wasn't like a race war at a track meet.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we don't know the story behind it because the young man who was murdered cannot tell his side of the story, right? But this is what I will say. Even when you think about the cultural differences,
mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that there are some people who feel like it's okay to play like that. And we tell our kids, you don't put your hands on nobody.
Right.
You don't go out there looking for trouble unless you're willing to get what you're going to get. And then in other cultures and other communities, it's like, oh, we were just kidding around. You should have knew that I was playing. Like, no, some people don't want to be played with. Some people are to the point to where their boundaries have been crossed so many times to where it's just like, hey, man, I don't play like that. Don't touch me. You don't put your hands on me. I won't put my hands on you because there have been some situations that have taken place in my life that are traumatic to me,
mm-hmm.
and you don't know how I respond to trauma. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? But again, when it's the shoes on the other foot, and when it's Caucasian men who are committing crimes, it's like now we can use mental health. Because think about what was his name? Dylan Roof, the kid who went to the movie theater, and then the other kid who shot up the church. It's like, oh, well, mentally something was wrong, or he was bullied, you know what I mean? Or he was unstable, or even some of these young kids who were killing their grandparents. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, he needed help. But then it's like, okay, a young man was pushed and was like, hey, don't touch me again.
Right.
Anyway, so he felt threatened. He felt provoked. Now we can't take into consideration his mental health.
Right.
Now we can't take into consideration the differences in culture and how people understand messages and how when we as people say, don't touch me.
Look, because the message to me is he got what he deserved, the 35 years. And I don't feel that he is guilty. Because I feel he was defending himself.
Right.
And he has the right to defend himself. So it's a slippery slope, but I'm riding on that slope because I feel strongly about, and let's take it back because number one, I feel that he got railroaded just from the justice system. He was set when this happened, he already lost.
Right.
I can accept him being guilty.
Right.
Not taken away from that. But the way that this played out, he was not with a jury of his peers.
No.
I don't care about the Asian and the Indian. What does that have to do with a black person?
So listen, right, and I'm glad that you said that because this is when you think about that, and I see it all the time on social media, and you see people like, oh, I got something for jury duty. Should I respond or should I not?
Mm-hmm.
And I think like when you see situations like that, it sometimes make you understand why people feel like, oh, I'm not going to sign up for jury duty. But then because it's like, even if I sign up and even if I show because of what I look like and because of my black face, people are going to kick me out anyway, right? So some people don't want to waste their time, but then also there are some other people who feel like, oh, well, I need to go because I need to show up and I need to support, and do all of these things. And there are some people just like, I don't want to go in front of no courthouse or I don't want to go inside the courthouse. But I think that's something that we need to emphasize as well and even kind of like dive into when it comes to jury duty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we feel like we won't get picked. But then also when we're on the opposite side, it's like, yo, my peers aren't even here to, and it's perfect examples. This continues to happen, not just in our community, but within our country. It's like when we say, okay, such and such with the court and his peers weren't even in front of him. Think about how many people who you heard say, oh man, I got picked for jury duty. How do I get out of it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, that's something to think about. That's something to consider as well. Like when we see that jury duty stuff, and we see like what's going on a national level, and we understand how important it is for us to do our duties, our responsibilities, so that we can continue to build, we can continue to protect. Because like you said, a young man got railroaded. Now he's looking at 35 years. But I did see like, is there an appeal process? Because I did see a lot of different people like I seen Charleston White say he was giving some money up. I seen Cardi B say she was giving some money up. And then I guess even just concerned people in general, like how much money needs to be given if it's people that's that concerned who can, I'm sure some attorneys who can.
I think it's a process that they got to go through. And I'm not sure about that process because it's Texas. But I was listening to some lawyer speak earlier on about it. And they definitely, I think they filed the appeal already. But
okay,
he just going to have to go through the motions of what he's going through right now until they get that appeal. And this is going to be a forever fight.
Absolutely.
Because he's not guaranteed to come back home after.
Listen, and what's crazy again is like going back to when you said people's in your comments, you can literally see how like when events like this take place and people support this kind of behavior, people stand behind this type of, I guess, injustice or systemic racism, it starts to come out a little bit more. And sometimes it's kind of like people will burp out racism or people will sneeze out racism to this point like, oh, you think this type of stuff is okay?
Yeah.
Or you agree with this type of treatment of people, especially when you lay out all the statistics. And then it's just like, you start to see that trickle in, like even to where it's getting even to like the sports world. Like think about, for instance, I was, I'm not really a big basketball fan, but I've been paying attention to the Knicks and stuff like that. And I see that like Donald Trump had got involved to the point to where now him and Stephen A. Smith going back and forth about who, insulting one another. And it's getting to the point now to where now people even feel comfortable enough to take some slights at Stephen A. and make it racist, all because Donald Trump has hopped involved in those conversations and people are starting to look at him and some of the things that he does that's acceptable, even to the point to where it's hitting our city.
Yeah.
It's hitting our city, man.
Look, you seen I posted a couple of things last week and they was heavy on the nigga.
Yeah.
And like, we just gonna keep it a buck.
Right.
I still got him up on my page where dude, like, he put the baboon face up and like a little battery up top in the brain, like I ain't no thinker. And
yeah,
they're using they whole identities. Like, I don't care about you, nigger.
Right.
Like, that's deep.
Right.
But I ain't backing down because you know what? Let me go back because on that page, bro, I got so many comments, right? And I'm going back and forth. There's a couple other people, they coming behind me. So they doing their thing, talking junk too. But the majority of them is people I've never met before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not friends with them on Facebook. And they're coming in the comments and they are saying whatever they want, how they want to say it. And people are going back. But one thing that caught me is one black dude from Erie came behind me. And instead of him backing me up, he came at me because he mad that the dude he got killed and 35 years ain't enough. And if he didn't take the knife.
Hold on. So you telling me a black dude
yes
came at you? Who was the dude?
Yes. His name is Michael. Came and I understand it because let me tell you, I don't understand it because it was people calling me nigga.
Uh-huh.
And for my brothers not to come back like you, what you talking about? Like, I want that to go hard.
Listen, man.
My man, he in the comments arguing with me. I said, this is why I don't get on everybody post and go back and forth because your mind ain't like my mind.
Right.
Like I'm pro-black.
Right.
Like I ain't about to, you getting on here arguing with me about my post. All these white people calling me nigga.
Right.
Talking about I'm on food stamps and I ain't got no education. And you right behind them wanting to argue with me. I felt some type of way like, yo, when I thought about that, like, man, this is where we're at in society.
Absolutely. And then it's like, you know what I mean? We got to start standing up for one another, and we got to start understanding like what we are up against, because there are people who think that that type of treatment is okay. And I honestly believe that some people sit back and feel like it's not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I put the joint up too soon, but it's not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? So people feel like, oh, it ain't, you know, but you see it trickling down, and you see it coming into our community. You see it coming into our neighborhoods. You know what I mean? Again, like, and then it's going into sports.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's going into the schools, it's going into the education system. And then it's to the point to where like people feel okay with just attacking people, or people feel okay with just showing their privilege, or people feel okay with just thinking and saying that they can do whatever it is that they want to do. I'm not sure if, you know what I mean? Like, as far as like that whole situation when it came to that, but I don't know, man. And before we even hop anywhere else, I think like we're getting close to Juneteenth.
Mm-hmm.
And the temperature that we're in right now, and the nature of what's going on in our country, I think it's important for us to understand like how valuable this holiday is to us, why we need to be celebrating, why we need to be coming together, why we need to be settling our differences and figuring out what we can do. Because right now here in Pennsylvania, man, like it's a lot of crazy stuff going on, specifically with our city council.
Ooh.
Specifically with our city council, right? So, and then the reason why I say that is because I got a picture up, and I showed it a little too soon, but I wanted to talk about, you know, Mr. Ed Brzezinski. I don't got anything negative to say about him as of yet. I'm gonna respect him enough to call him Mr. Ed Brzezinski, but I believe him is showing his tail a little bit down there at the city council meetings. What's your take on some of the? Or you want me to go first? I don't know. You know what I mean? I ain't got no problem. What's your take on Mr. Brzezinski and some of the things that he's been saying and some of the things that he's been doing?
He shows me is what Erie used to be like in the 1950s and the 60s.
Okay.
Early 70s.
Okay.
80s when he was a youngin'. But I guarantee in his household that he grew up in, they had to be raw.
Listen, when you say raw, what do you like?
Well, I mean heavy ER. Raw. And I'm gonna go there.
Listen.
Because the reason I'm gonna go there is because when you disrespect Dr. Titus, no matter what you feel about him, if you're going to say that,
listen,
there's no doubt in my mind that the way you came up was heavy ER. And I ain't even talking about Dre yet.
Listen, that's what's crazy, because like I didn't watch the whole thing when I had first shared the clip that I had. And like, I think it's on here. I don't want to be messing up too much stuff, but I think it's on here. The first clip, like when him and Andre had they back and forth. I think I got it on another screen. Let me see. But like, yeah, when him and Andre had went back and forth, it was let me see. Share screen.
And you know what messed me? For him to be sitting as close to Dre that he was, to even say that, like, ooh. Like,
so this is where it's at. And I'm wondering if it'll play if I push play on it, because I want people to hear this, Joe, for those who missed it. So I hope the sound is going.
Councilor Brzezinski.
I had a lot to say, and I'm not sure I can even say it. First off, nobody mentioned Mr. Kine isn't here in person. He's out of the state working to bring more things to our Bayfront. He's at a business conference. He's taking time out of it to be with us here. We have to learn as a council that when we sit down here to make a decision, our facts, which base our vote, should be in our heads before we sit down here. We can't wait for somebody to give an oration, whatever it was, and change votes because of confusion. Everybody, I'm liaison. And when I asked for questions, everybody saw everything I saw. President, you saw everything. We saw it twice. And still, we asked a whole lot of questions that had no real bearing to what we were doing. If you have questions, I'm begging you as a council, if you have questions like this, go to the planning commission, go to the zoning board, sit there and see what they're doing, and then change it there. Don't bring it here and make it a dog and pony show, because that's what we did. We've got a lot of very important people. Thank you all for being here. But you didn't have to take a Tuesday night, again, to get this okayed. It should have been okayed a couple weeks ago. I'm done. Thank you very much.
Why pay over $2,000 to create an ebook when this $27 AI does it all? Designer.
Councilor Horton.
Absolutely. Two things. I still don't know what's going in there besides what was stated to me in the meeting which you attended, the one company. And the other thing is, if you ever do anything like that again, I'll respond in kind. That was rude, and you don't have your facts right. And it's really, really hard for me to understand how you can say what someone else knows. Now, I heard what I heard. I don't know what you heard. You had your report.
Point of order.
You had
Mr.
your
Horton is
report.
Mr. Horton is speaking. Mr. Brzezinski, it is.
No, you
Councilor Horton's
said
time.
you said something, and I just want to get you straight on it.
Okay.
And so you'll never be able to come here and perform on me ever. And the information that was given was embargoed. Mr. Pine and Ms. White asked us to embargo it as minimum as it was. But don't ever do me like that again, Ed, or else I'm going to respond in kind.
You're responding.
So let me bring us back up here. Let's take this off the screen. And so that's what came from that. You know what I mean? So that was the first incident that took place to where, you know what I mean? Like at the, the planning meeting for the city council meeting. That's what took place with Mr. Brzezinski. Them was just some of the comments that he made to Andre Horton, Councilman Horton. You know what I mean? If we're going to be very formal with everything. So that was the first situation that took place that kind of made me feel like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, this dude is taking it too far, and this dude feel like, you know what I mean, he can say whatever he wants to say and say who he wants to say it to. So I like the way that Andre, came at him, you know what I mean? But like, what was your take on that? I got a lot to say about that.
I have an issue with white men talking to black men as if we are less than them.
Right.
Period.
Right.
So when he is talking like that, sitting next to Dre, like it just do something to me. Like that just make me mad, bro. Like, and I ain't even gonna front like that. I got a problem with that because it's so disrespectful. He's a grown man.
Right.
You trying to son him.
Right.
You can't son that man. He been in this game for a long time.
Right.
For Dre to hold his composure and say in kind. A lot of people don't know what in kind means.
And then this is something that I did notice, and this is going to be for later for the conversation. When Dr. Titus said, Councilman Horton has the floor.
Yeah.
Ed Brzezinski said, yes, President. He said, yes, President.
Yeah.
When Dr. Titus said, Mr. Brzezinski, your point of order or point of, whatever they said, point of order, Councilman Horton has the floor. Ed Brzezinski said, yes, President.
Yeah.
Right? That was something that I picked up on because, fast forward what we heard, what we found out later on. So then when you think about that, he also said like, Gus isn't here because he's away doing great things for Erie. And Gus is my friend. Like, Gus is my guy. Gus Pine is a good dude. So, you know what I mean? This is no shots at Gus or nothing like that. But his time has to be wasted on a Tuesday. And, sorry for all of these fine people who had to sit up here. Like, I've never heard Mr. Brzezinski say to us, he's sorry that we've been having to waste our time for anything. So then, like, when I seen that, it just kind of makes it seem to me like he's getting some type of favor, or he's in some type of he's in somebody's pocket, or he's about to reap some type of benefit from whatever's going on, because if this is what they want, and if they have to show up for these meetings to represent themselves or to defend themselves or to plead their case, how is it a waste of time?
Yeah. And he said, y'all shouldn't have to come back this
Right.
week. You should have
Yeah.
it last
They
week.
should,
Like,
yeah, they
what?
should be. But this is what I will say. I did have some conversations, and a couple people were like, at different meetings, people could have got different answers.
Uh-huh.
So it was like, oh, well, if you guys start going to this meeting, start paying attention to this meeting. But this is what I will say, right? Well, how was that wrong to ask that question? Because there are people who didn't know what was going on.
Mhm.
And when you think about people who are running for city or who are serving on city council, it doesn't matter if you think you have it figured out. You are a representative for a large amount of people.
Yeah.
So when you're asking questions or when you're giving these answers, this information, it doesn't matter if Ed Brzezinski understands by himself. I mean, I wonder if everybody who he represents knows.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if Andre knew everything. He wanted to ask those questions because he knew more people was going to be paying attention. So maybe he wanted to put that information out so people can be informed. But it's like, how are you, a council person, telling another council person like, yo, you shouldn't be asking questions because you should have came to the other meeting and you should have already known better. You know what I mean? When Dre represents a lot of people, and Ed,
Yeah.
Mr. Brzezinski, he also represents a lot of people. So I'm curious to know if everybody who he represents and everybody who he speaks for and everybody who he advocates for understood exactly what that meant, to the point to where, oh, Ed got us, and you know what I mean? We shouldn't say nothing. And then even like, so again, kudos to Andre for asking the question. I don't care if he asked the question 1,000 times, because we sat in plenty of meetings before to where the meetings go on and on and on, and people take time, waste time, and stuff like that. So kudos to Andre Horta for always asking questions. And I hope that you continue to ask questions, because what we're recognizing is more people are paying attention to their civic duties, their civic responsibilities. You know what I mean? But to hear him call Dr. Titus president.
President.
Like, yeah, yes, president. I mean, yeah, president. Thank you, president. So we heard Dr. Titus being called president, right?
Right.
That was one thing. And then we also heard, oh, these fine people, sorry that we had to have you guys come down here on a Tuesday. You should be doing some other stuff. So I'm curious to know, like, what was some of the other stuff that they should have been doing? And then also, it's just like, I don't know, man.
He rolled out the red carpet.
A lot of stuff just makes me weary with that. So like, and then again, it's Dre.
You know what's funny? Because he'll sit up there when people was talking and they look like they ain't interested into it and all of that. But this particular day, few people was in there, roll the red carpet out, show them love. I'm like you, I barely heard him speak.
Right.
But about that situation, which they was going to eventually vote yes for that anyway.
Right. No,
So,
we knew that.
Like, for him to try to speed it along and try to sun Dre and then do what he did to Dr. Titus, like.
And I'm trying to get to that. I'm trying to find that one too.
He had that pre-planned.
Yeah.
I ain't saying what he said he had pre-planned, but he went into that meeting already mad that they did not approve that the week prior, the 2 weeks prior that they had the one meeting. So he was coming to guns blazing.
Absolutely, right? So then again, like when you talk about it, Dre's asking questions because we don't understand some of the information. We don't know what's going on. And then, you know what I mean? It's like, okay. Because again, like I said, more people are paying attention to civics. More people are trying to be responsible for what's going on. And more people are trying to wake up in the community. And it's like, how dare you try to tell somebody, oh, you should have been at a different meeting, or, this ain't the time to ask that question, or you should have been at a different place to ask that question. So again, I don't understand that, but so you hear that, right? So we listen to that part and we hear, Mr. Brzezinski say, oh, Andre, how dare you ask these questions? And then I love the way Dre responded. Like, he's like, listen, because I feel like we get to interpret that. Like, it's kind of like, don't play with me.
Right.
Don't play with me in front of these people. Like, who you think you talking to? Who you think you coming at? Like, I mean, like, I ain't nothing like that. And I ain't one of these new guys. So watch who you talking to. But this is what I would, before we play the other video, like, again, I've seen Mr. Brzezinski sitting there playing on his cell. I called him out one time while I'm talking, like, yo, I can't even get your attention. What you up there playing Candy Crush? What you ordering? Pizza?
Right.
I got videos of him, on the phone. So to me, he doesn't show respect for people up there speaking. And like you said, the old guard of Erie, I'm not exactly sure how old he is or what he is doing. And again, I'm not trying to discredit the man because people believe in him for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he used to be a school teacher. I know he used to be a coach years ago, but I'm not exactly sure what he does or who he does it for now. But since that incident has taken place, a lot of people have reached out and said he's been disrespecting women since he's been a school board director. He called Liz Allen was calling her a broad or something like that. Refused to apologize for that. And then again, like you said, if you'll say these things publicly, what will he say privately? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
At his house or amongst his circle of friends, or like Donald Trump said, that's just
Look.
locker room talk.
One thing that's easy to pick up on is a person's tone. His tone set it off.
Body language, bro. He be sitting up there like all
Yeah.
smug, and you know his facial expressions and all of that. Like, and then what's crazy is like he didn't threw a couple digs at me through his speeches, because you know that when they get to talking, you don't get to respond. It's like, so I'm gonna put his picture up there because this is what we talking about. We're gonna make sure we share a nice professional picture of Mr. Brzezinski, because this is the gentleman who we are talking about. He served on the Erie School Board for quite some time. He served on this Erie City Council. I don't know the rest of his credentials. I'm not exactly sure what else he's done. There were a couple people who were upset that we were sharing his image and having conversations about him. So again, if anybody can, advocate for or speak to, what Mr. Brzezinski does or has done, I would love to hear it, because again, we're not here to take shots. We're not here to pick them apart. We're not here to be disrespectful. But what I will say is, over the course of the last, I want to say 4 years, I've been attending these meetings for 12 years. You know what I mean? But over the last 4 years, I've seen this man be rude. I've seen him be smug. I've seen him be disrespectful. I've heard him take, shots at people. And I've heard him, only time he really speaks up is when it's for things that are going to benefit him and his friends. Like when you talk about the golf stuff, the bike trails and things like that. But then even when we were like running, I remember when we were running for city council and him and Chuck Nelson were running for city controller, like the way that they was, well, I ain't gonna say they, the things that he was saying and treating Brooks Sanfilippo, like about like, oh, we just gonna do this and we gonna do that. I was just like, yo, like this is crazy how this works. And I believe somehow, some way it was like, it's a whole family thing with Erie and politics.
Oh,
but like, yeah, he was like saying little stuff. Oh, maybe this, I don't know. You just had to be there for it. But I never really got good vibes from him. And like I said before, I don't have an issue. Like I have relationships with white men and stuff like that. But he just strikes me as one of those old white men who just thinks that black people are nothing.
One of them old Erie D cigar store hanging, smoking a cigar in the building. Like, bro, I said it. It's all about the tone. His tone was aggressive, angry white man. Like they said, we angry black man.
Listen,
he had an angry, aggressive white man.
Privilege.
Like, today is the day.
And listen, people are like, oh, he's misogynist and he's one of those white supremacists. And again, I haven't had these experiences. It's outside of what we're going to share. And I hope that I got this right. I'm going to pull this up and see if this will play. So we got this joint up. Let me switch to the other screen, because I want to make sure that I play this. Unmute.
As well too, is making sure that this information is available to the public, and that is what we did through this process. And then just as a position within the chair position, there is a decorum that has to happen up here, and because it was brought out here, Mr. Brzezinski, you are not to do that again. I haven't called upon you to. I haven't called. This is my liaison speech or my liaison report.
You just
and I'm
addressed me.
Mr.
What did you say?
Brzezinski, I'm finishing my sentence.
Oh, please do that.
We're going to follow the decorum and we're going to follow order. And if we continue to interrupt, I will call upon the body to use the powers that are in the seat to do a censorship. So we're going to follow the rules of order and we're going to allow them to continue appropriately.
Yes, ma'am.
That you're on notice with that comment. I will call for a censorship if that happens again. With that, I will close out and Mayor.
We're gonna pull that off the screen.
Yeah,
but
good,
again,
good
like
composure.
Great composure, right?
Good
Because
composure.
think about what took place right there, right? Think about what took place right there. And then, like I said, when we played the previous clip, Ed Brzezinski addressed Dr. Titus as president. Ed Brzezinski addressed Dr. Titus as president prior to being informed that, hey, this is not right. We're not going to run the meeting this way. I'm presiding this meeting. I am calling the shots. I'm running the show. And if this is going to how we're going to continue to act, then this is unacceptable behavior. And Ed Brzezinski said, yes, ma'am. But in a previous clip, because it was people in the comment section saying, oh, well, you know, Dr. Titus was born this. But it's like, okay, in the previous clip, Dr. Titus can be addressed as president.
Mm-hmm.
In a previous clip, the exact same meeting, and I believe it was within like 10 minutes. I just only slid that thing 5-10 minutes. So within a matter of 10 minutes, Dr. Tyler Titus can go from president to ma'am because you don't like the way that you are being addressed by the presiding council person of the council.
Absolutely.
This man, how old is Ed Brzezinski for him to be acting like that? Like, this was the gentleman who said it, y'all. So we're going to share his picture now. We're going to put it out there because this is what they would do to us. Is, you know what I mean? If us as black people or us as even the underdog, even the inner city people, if we was to get in some type of trouble or be committed some type of crime or something like that, they would have our photo on blast and we would be all over Go Erie and they'd be talking about us and making it seem like we were some type of animals or some type of criminals. So this is what we need to do. We need to let people know, the people who are making these type of comments and the people who are saying these type of things, because it is unacceptable, especially when you think about who Dr. Tyler Titus is and all that they have done and all that they are doing, to be treated in such a manner, in such a fashion. And again, it only happened because they were being addressed, because Ed Brzezinski was being addressed by Dr. Titus for acting childish and acting immature. So I'm curious to know, for the people who stand with that or stand behind Ed, like, how do you explain that behavior?
I don't know. I'm still.
What's your thoughts on that, bro? What's your thoughts on that, bro?
Because I just can't believe that he got up there and actually said that. Like, that was so calculated from him. Like, the back and forth wasn't even that hard to even go through for him to say, ma'am.
Listen,
he could have said, okay, Mr. President.
Right. And this is what I'm going to say, right? Like, I have a relationship with Dr. Titus.
Mm-hmm.
Friends, I know, like, at one point in time, you know what I mean? Like, we're ignorant people. That's the ultimate insult. That's like the yo mama, you know what I mean? So Ed Brzezinski was going for the gusto. That was probably like the most insulting thing. And to watch Dr. Titus, to watch them hold their composure up there, sit on that stage, and to just like, because you seen them pause.
Yeah.
Took a pause like, whoa,
mm-hmm.
Did you just say what I think you just said?
Right.
Like,
right.
Did you just, and then I wonder how the people who support Ed Brzezinski, how that, at that moment, how did that make them feel to say, hey, that's our leader?
I already told you.
That's who we vote for. You know what I mean? But like, to the ultimate insult?
Yeah. It's 93,000 people in this city. Everybody, I guarantee, that has social media, some type of news coverage, has seen that. He knows that this is going to be shown. This is not no water under the bridge incident right here.
Man.
Like, that's a Dr. Titus.
Dr. Titus.
Dr. Titus. He's the president of City Council in Erie, Pennsylvania. You're one of the councilmen. To get up there and say that,
right.
And if you said it, you meant it.
You meant it. Yeah, you did mean it. That was the ultimate insult.
You can't take it back.
And then this is what I will say, and I said it even in the comments too. If it was a real thing, if it was an accident, it would have always happened.
That happened before.
You know, but what I'm saying is, if it was an accident, you know what I mean? Ed Brzezinski would have slipped up and called Dr. Titus ma'am a couple of times. Or if he didn't agree with, you know, Tyler's lifestyle, then that would be a regular thing. You don't go from calling somebody president to calling somebody man when you get a dress.
Because he's doing that in his home.
Listen,
with his family.
Think about it,
after
bro.
After they lead them meetings.
Listen.
And he is upset at Dr. Titus.
Man.
He is going home and he is doing.
Listen.
Man ain't even on the bingo card.
Man was easy.
Yeah.
Man was slight. So then even when he say like, and then you think about what he said earlier, all of these nice people had to come out here on a Tuesday night. So they were nice people. But the person that you serve with, your colleague, is ma'am. You know what I mean? So then again, think about what he said about Dre.
Yeah. Ooh.
Think about what he said when he left that meeting, bro. Look, listen, when Ed Brzezinski left that meeting, think about all of the names Dre was. Or then all of the meetings when we was down there, you know what I mean, coming at them. Think about all of the names that you were. Think about all of the names that I've been. Think about all of the names that all of us has been. And it's like, oh, they say, oh, you can't generalize or you can't overgeneralize it, but he didn't make he's been caught. Like, this ain't the first time. Even when Mel Witherspoon made the comment, like, it was because Ed Brzezinski was up there playing with him on the microphone. Like, so he don't even take the meeting seriously.
I forgot about that.
I don't forget about none of that.
Yeah.
Like, Mel Witherspoon, when he said what he said, when he said I killed you, he wasn't talking to us. He was talking to Ed, because Ed was like, if you don't make it up here, then you can help run with me and you can help serve with me. He like, man, I'll kill you. Don't play with me. And Ed up there, he, ha, ha. Ed always getting caught on a hot mic, or he always saying something inappropriate. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's. I mean, it looked like he leaned in. If I get the time to rewind it back and play it back, I'll play it again. It looked like he leaned in, like he meant that.
He absolutely meant that. He just said that a million times. He just that day was the day that it was getting off his chest. And it was the kind of like, I'm gonna show you I can disrespect you.
Listen, and I wonder how many of his friends agree with that, or how many of his peers agree with that, or how many of his friends and his peers be like, I'm glad. I'm sure there are some people who said, I'm glad that somebody said that.
Yeah, but
I'm glad that somebody did that.
That next meeting, I'm just curious to see the people that's going to come to speak for Dr. Titus, and because everything is going to be directed at Ed.
What? Listen, whatever the agenda is, for the next city council meeting, they might as well anybody, like, that's gonna go to them public comments about to be crazy.
Oh yeah, they about to, like,
damn public.
Did you see the Go Erie and a couple other spots? They got heavy comment.
Right, but listen, go ahead. I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna pull up the post that Dr. Titus made.
I seen the post, but them comments, like, one thing, people don't sugarcoat about this situation
at all.
So I don't want to sit here and just act like Ed ain't got nobody on his defense.
No, he do.
Because
he do. There's people who
in the comments with them. They got some wild comments.
Absolutely. So, like, I got a message. Somebody, I got a message, like, and then I woke up and seen this on social media. This is Dr. Tyler Titus. It says, I want to be so damn clear. I am angry. I'm angry for every trans and gender expansive person who has been told their humanity is negotiable. I'm angry for every person who has fought for liberation and against oppression. I am angry for a community that continues to be asked to absorb disrespect and move on. I'm gonna put this to the stage. Yesterday, a colleague intentionally referred to me as ma'am after being called to order. Let's be clear about what happened. I am the president of Erie City Council. I was elected by the people of this city and unanimously chosen by my colleagues to serve in this role. My colleague did not accidentally forget my title. He did not accidentally misspeak. He intentionally chose disrespect. And this was not an isolated incident. There is a documented history of this behavior, yet there has been little accountability from our institutions, our media, or our community. That silence is defeating. As Pride Month unfolds, I do not want to hear speeches about inclusion. I do not want to see rainbow flags waved in celebration while people remain silent when discrimination happens in plain sight. Solidarity is not something you perform when it is convenient. It is something you practice when it costs you something. The reality is that nearly half of gender-expansive young people seriously consider suicide. They are paying attention. They are watching how adults respond when someone is mocked, dismissed, or dehumanized. They are watching who speaks up and who remains silent. What happened to me yesterday is bigger than me. It is about whether we are willing to tolerate the casual dehumanization of people simply because they are different. I am done prioritizing the comfort of those causing harm of the well-being of those experiencing it. I am angry because the people are hurting. I am angry because young people are struggling to survive. I am angry because human dignity should not be a debate. And I refuse to swallow this down. So I woke up and I seen that, and I seen the conversations, and I'm just like, yo, like, it really did happen. It really did happen. You know what I mean? That's what. So when I'm like, bro, I didn't know what to do with that. I didn't know how to take that. And what's crazy is, like, I want to say, like, 2 days ago, I was just with Tyler. Like, we walked around the neighborhood, we was having conversations about how we can help with this type of stuff, because, you know what I mean? Like, it was very interesting to see, like, whoa, we just had a conversation about this and this is what it turns into. So, you know what I mean? That's just crazy. But you know what I mean? Like,
you got to give Tyler his respect for holding the ground down and not reacting, because that was a reaction situation.
Right.
Like, a lot of people probably would have got up and walked over there and like, yo, who was you talking to? Like, stop playing with me.
That part. That part. So it's crazy, like to watch him do that to Tyler, watch him do that to Dre. It's more or less like it gets to the point to where like, when is enough enough? And when do we start recognizing who the problem is and what the problem is? I believe that. And then when you talk about Donald Trump, when you talk about some of the elected officials, when you talk about some of the state reps and senators and stuff like that, like it seems like it's older and middle-aged white men who feel like they can get away with treating people just any type of way. And it's having an impact on so many different communities. If you think about how some of the women are treated here, you know what I mean? Because we have elected officials who are women. When you think about some of the kids and how they're treated here, there are people who are trying to take over the community centers and have the ideas of the way things should happen in our community. And it's starting to seem like there are middle-aged or older white people who don't understand our struggles, who don't understand what we are going through, and they feel like they can tell us what to do. And I seen that something that you posted earlier when you like, you love or you can't stand when like, you know, white people minding black people business. What do you mean? Go in on that a little bit, bro.
I think that
because I talked about saviorism a little bit.
Yeah, but I think that white men will jump. If for me, if I post something about something black,
right,
it's guaranteed that 2 to 3 white men is going to come on my post and tell me as if I need to say it their way,
right?
Or why am I talking about it this way?
Right.
It should be this way. And I'm like, look, I will never let a white man tell me how to speak.
Right.
That's just facts.
Right.
I've always been that way. You ain't gonna tell me how. How can you tell me as a black man how to be a black man?
Right.
I have a problem with that because they do it every day and they make the words sound different as if they done ran this whole thing around your brain and I'm stuck in my ways.
Right.
Like you can't just say that to me.
Right.
Because I don't get down like that.
And I think like when you think about that, I think it's a psychological thing. And a lot of us as black men don't even understand or realize that there are times when we are being belittled, or there are times when we are being insulted. And because we're so used to this behavior and we're so used to feeling like we don't have an opportunity to speak up or we shouldn't say something, that's where we fall out of order. And that's where we continue to stay behind because we don't understand our rights, our roles, our responsibilities, and what we can be doing and how we should be stepping up and speaking up for our community. Because again, there are a lot of a lot of solid black men in the city of Erie, Pennsylvania.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? There are a lot of solid black women in the city of Erie, Pennsylvania, and we aren't aligning ourselves and we aren't coming together. And now what we are seeing is the treatment of middle-aged or older white men from the national level, from president all the way to the local level of city council, feeling and thinking that they can tell us what to do, how to do it, who to talk to, how to speak and stuff like that. Even to the point to where it's like, they treating the women like that too. You know what I mean? And I don't think that people realize that. Like, even for instance, like you got Jared in the comments. Like, I'm not exactly sure if he's understanding the conversation or what we're saying, but it's like everybody has an opportunity to use their voice.
Right.
Everybody has an opportunity to use their platform. And it's like, you know, I see the comments, he's saying speak on other issues, and he's saying Daria was crickets after about it. Like, when we talk about white men trying to pretty much control the narrative or pretty much trying to tell people how to speak, that's exactly what he's doing. And it's like, how many times or how many ways do we got to tell this dude to chill before he feel like he can be saying what we need to be saying, or he's going to put a battery in my back, or he's going to put a battery in your back, to where it's just like, bro, you ain't paying attention to what's going on. And then on top of that, like, Daria didn't inherit the mess. Like, y'all know how I feel. Like, I rock with Daria until I don't. And I've expressed my concerns with her, but I don't have no problem with her because, again, she's up against the exact same thing. When we talk about these middle-aged white men, or we talking about these older white men pretty much trying to make decisions or call shots, it's more or less like, how are you trying to tell somebody what to do when you've never walked the shoes in that person's life before you even try to figure out how to support them? I honestly believe that, like, you know, some people were counted out before they even had the opportunity to do something. And then there are so many people who sit behind the scenes who feel like I can tell you how to do it or the way it's supposed to go. But then it's like, well, do the work.
Listen, our president told Stephen A. Smith he got a low IQ. He could never be president.
Listen, told Stephen A. Smith he got a low. Think about that. Stephen A. Smith.
Right.
Well, I don't care how
whether
loud
you like
think
him or
he
not.
is,
Whether you like him or not.
you can't put that together.
Listen, I had to listen to that again because I'm used to him going and he tell a lady they dumb.
Right.
Like, with no problem. You're dumb.
Listen.
I don't care what you're saying. Blah,
Right.
blah, blah. Walk off the way. But you told this man that he had a low IQ, all from saying they didn't want you to come to the game because you're gonna disrupt the people who is rocking with the Knicks.
Right.
That triggered you to say he's dumb. You basically called him dumb.
Yeah.
As if he didn't. And again, whether you like Stephen A. Smith or not,
Right. That man is not dumb.
He earned his way to get where he at.
Right.
We sometimes we call him a coon and all of that.
Yeah.
But I kind of fault
Right.
Stephen A. Smith because he put himself in that position because he was rocking with the president.
Yeah.
He was rocking with
Yeah.
the president. But to see how quick that president, that white man, turned on that black man.
Right. And I think I'm glad that you mentioned that because I feel like everybody has an opportunity to wake up. And I believe that, again, when we talk about the psychological and we talk about how it's been ingrained in us for so long, it's like sometimes people feel like if a white man is going to give them an opportunity, they got to take it and they got to run with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there comes a point in time where sometimes oh, wow, this white man tricked me. Or, oh, wow, this white woman tricked me. You know what I mean? And we get to those points in our lives or we get to certain situations to where we realize we've overtrusted, we've overloved, or we overshared. And I don't think that you can blame a person or you can knock a person when they had that wake up moment or they had that aha moment to be like, oh, whoa, I've been being misled way too long and I need to pump the brakes. So even if you talk about that, because what we can do is we can't unblack Stephen A. Smith.
No, we can't.
Can never take that away from him. So even if it's like, okay,
HBCU.
right, if he was on the train or the wagon for too long and then now he decided to get off, it's like, okay, when did we realize that? Because I think that we do that within our community as well. I think that we condemn some of the black people around here who have been in the limelight or been connected to some of the white folks. And I think as a new generation is speaking up and a new generation is stepping up, a lot of us are still holding some of those same people to some of those same old values.
Oh, we all guilty of that.
Not realizing that, oh, whoa, maybe he woke up now because he's learning something or he's seeing something different. But we definitely need to understand that, like, we can't continue to allow ourselves to be separated, especially when you have rich, white, older or middle-aged men who are preying on us to not understand one another, who are preying on us to not connect, and then are literally preying on some of us who look like the diamond in the rough to be like, okay, I feel like if I get him, I'll be able to pull the rest of everything apart because he's the one out of all of the ones.
Look, bro, he told that man he could never be president because he don't have the IQ to do that job. As if he can't get this. You know, when you grow up, your goal. Some people say I want to be an astronaut.
Right.
Some people say I want to be a fireman. Some people say I want to be a cop. Some people want to. I want to be the president. So that's just like Stephen A. Smith was a little kid and he said I want to be the president. And then this man come and say, you'll never be the president. You ain't smart enough.
He said, we can debate. I challenge you to a debate and all of that, right? So when you again, when we think about this stuff and we see this stuff, we have to realize that these are not isolated events. These are thinking behaviors. These are thinking patterns. This is a culture of superiorism. This is a culture of ingrained superiority and people feel. And then I think sometimes it's so ignorant, people don't even realize that like they have a privilege. I mean, they have a complex of privilege. They have a complex of savior to where it's just like, I'm the only person who can tell you what to do. And that's why it's important for us to figure out how we can settle our differences, how we can build up as a community, how we can rely on our allies to build ourselves up, but also watch the people who call themselves allies. But understand that we need to start coming together because there are systems and infrastructures that are created and designed for us to lose. And again, it's not just black men. We can only speak for and advocate for black men because that's who we are. But also understand, like, think about the treatment that women have had to deal with. Like, not trying to take away, but if you think about, like, again, we talking about white men or middle-aged white men, and we talking about oppression, and we talking about, you know, the plight of, think about some of the things. And I can't speak for a woman. That's why I can't wait to have a woman come on the show and kind of speak to some of the things that she's been through, because again, we can speak from our experiences as black men, but I think black women, white women, Hispanic women, I think all women have had to endure so much stress, so much trauma, so much pain from all demographics of men. But I think the men who have been empowered most, and specifically, though, you know what I mean, is just kind of like they get it, they understand. And I think the more that I'm learning that and realizing that, the more open that I'm being to having conversations, and the more patient that I'm willing to be with some of the women who are in power and who are in control, because this is new territory for them as well. Right. And they've been up against this enemy for as long as they've been living. They don't need enemies like us as well, breathing down their neck or breathing
Right.
down their throat and saying, hey, man, get it together.
But it's as simple as you can look at the top of the food chain, which is government in Washington, D.C. There ain't a day that don't go by that you don't hear some type of allegations from one of those men against the woman. And this is the top of the food chain. These are our leaders leading the United States of America. You don't see them being prosecuted. You don't even see them being held accountable. And they are getting and giving jobs to their friends who do the same thing that they do. Take advantage of these women. When the women come to speak out, they hurry up and brush them aside, throw them a couple dollars, or you know, some of the one lady in the Epstein, she committed suicide about this because all that pressure was coming from the top of the food chain.
And I just disappeared.
Yeah,
Epstein files just disappeared.
I mean, but look what's going on. It's enough to make it disappear right now.
Listen, disappeared.
Why? Because we going through a war. Gas is high. It's that simple. If he cuts one person out, we'll talk about that for 3 days.
No, for real. Like everybody who got fired, firing
Yeah.
this person. You know, he showed up at the Knicks game. That was a whole big ordeal.
I mean,
and like, I'm glad that was even mentioned because it's so many different distractions all over the place to where it's getting us off our square. And I think that it is important for us to start realizing that, start recognizing that, and coming together. And it's crazy. I'm not going to say it's crazy, but we're a week and a day away from Juneteenth.
yes.
And Juneteenth is like the celebration of the freedom of Black people. And we need to truly take Juneteenth seriously. Like,
it's very
I know
important.
I keep saying this, and
I'm
you know what I
off.
mean? Like, yeah, you done said you off, and we're going to be talking about it on the radio show, I believe. We're going to be talking to Angela McNair tomorrow. Me and Marcus, I believe, he's having a special episode talking to Angela McNair because they putting something together as well. But like, I want to see the entire community celebrating Juneteenth. I want to see all of Erie looking like Black freedom celebration because we need to start coming together, Black people. It is very important. Like, for any of us who have issues with one another, for any of us who have problems with one another, we need to start settling our difference because this racism is trickling down.
Yes.
And people are starting to treat us any type of way. And we are being separated and we are being picked off and people are being misconstrued. People are being deceived. So we need to understand that we need to start coming together.
Listen,
We have the numbers, we have the resources.
listen, they pushing this. You don't hear nothing about Juneteenth. They pushing America 250. That is all you hear. Like, they got a whole they finna have a UFC fight.
Listen, bro, that's what's about us. We don't even. That's why it's about us. When we talk about
That's why I want to bring it back.
yeah, they just that racism is trickling.
Yeah. And this is why we need to start understanding how important celebrating us is. Our allies is gonna come celebrate us.
Right. And then
So-
I think that I'm glad that you said it, America 250, because I think it's so many people who are pushing that. They don't even realize and understand how, like, oh wow, we are forgetting about Juneteenth, and because we never really thought that. Like, the train just came through it.
Yeah.
I don't know much about the train, so I ain't finna sit here and act like I was about to celebrate this train coming through. I used to live on West 17th
There's a
Street.
lot of happy people. for that
Trains
one.
used to come to across 19th Street
I
all the
live on
time.
19th.
My cousin used to live right on that. We used to clown him about that.
Yeah.
Like, y'all the 19th Street coolies, the train messed y'all brains up. So I don't know how big of a deal the train was, but you know what I mean? I do know Juneteenth is a big deal, and we need to be making sure that we pushing that out, and we can't be waiting on or relying on somebody else to do it for us. That's why we need to be waking our people up. And again, man, we have to start coming together.
We
This
gotta
is
celebrate us. This is Juneteenth. I remember our last segment. I said I didn't take it serious.
right,
I didn't
right.
until a couple years ago when I'm like, wait a minute, this is for us. We need to acknowledge this. Like, people was just skipping Juneteenth and going straight to July 4th.
Yeah.
Like, no, let's celebrate us.
And I think one, this is what I will say. I'm gonna ask you, and I'll answer it. I'll answer it first and ask you. But I think, like, when it comes to us as Black people in the Erie community, either not being able to come together or not being able to celebrate this thing, I think it's because all of us want to win so bad that we won't recognize some of the people who are doing great things in the community. It's always the same people doing the same stuff, or it's always the same people that we want to recognize.
Right.
I think we need to start showing more love to one another. Period.
I agree.
And I'm going to say, I'll be here to say at first, like I'm guilty of seeing certain things that I see on social media and just scrolling past it, or not showing enough love, or not sharing it, or not having a conversation with people. So you know what I mean? Like even today, like I seen his name is Sammy Sosa on social media. I know he's doing a father camp or something like that, and it was an Erie Pal grant that came up. So I had reached out to him, you know what I mean? And I sent him some information that I felt like would benefit his cause.
Mhm.
But even stuff like that, I think that what we don't do is when we see people who we feel aren't, the up and comers or the most popular people, that we really don't show them love, and we wait for those people to become somebody before we start recognizing them and showing them love. So he has a program. It's Father First summer program. It starts tomorrow. Registration and drop off location 14th and Wayne Street, Erie, PA. Bring your child tomorrow to register and get started. Mentorship, fun activities, outdoor games, positive role model, safe environment, right? So when you think about somebody like that, like this is a gentleman, you know, everybody has a story, everybody has a background, everybody has a history. But you see people who are trying to do the right thing, you know what I mean? You see people who are trying to, you know, to build up their communities. And I think that oftentimes what we do in Erie is we wait for people to show and prove before we get involved with them.
Right.
It's Juneteenth, you know what I mean? It's 2026. You know, we already see all the racism going on and all the microaggressions, undertones, implicit bias. I believe that we as Black people need to just figure out how we can bury hatches,
Mm-hmm.
how we can extend olive branches, how we can build our community up, start loving one another, and get rid of all the hate that goes on. I hate to see all of the bad stuff that goes on in our community, bro.
You know, I try to stay out of that light.
Yeah, me too. But it's just like you see it, and it's like I be just wanting to do something, man.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? You understand the mindset sometimes, and it's like you can't be going in there disrupting people, but it's like,
They're going to disrupt next week.
bro, we got the numbers to do everything that we want around here.
Yeah. I think we don't stay focused. We see somebody up here,
Mm-hmm.
when you here
Mm-hmm.
and you trying to get here,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of, instead of working with the up here, man, F that.
Yeah, man. And it be hating.
Mm-hmm.
It be hating, bro. And we know that. And then it's just like crazy. It's like people some of those people know who they are. And it's like, how do we get to the point to where it's just like, hey, I respect your movement. And even if I don't have to like it to respect it.
Look, in Erie, this is how you know.
How do we get there?
Look, because let's do the food thing. Okay? This is the easiest way that you can explain hating
Mm-hmm.
in Erie is by people's food.
Listen.
Social media will tear a plate up. I done seen somebody get ripped apart. They selling their food. And
I think food is
like,
different. I think food is a different story though, bro.
But listen,
I think food is a different story. I'm not just showing love for anybody who posts a meal. If your food nasty and you put on social media, you deserve to be torn apart.
But I'm saying we talking about hating.
No, I don't think that's hate. I don't think we can call that hate.
I don't know, bro.
No, bro.
Different.
I don't think because here's the thing, right? If I'm going to post my meal on social media and try to advertise it, and you go to buy it,
right,
you have every right to leave me a review.
They use them fake pictures now too,
right? But so what I'm saying is, if you taste the food and you go to buy the food and you got it from social media, you have every right to use the social media review. As far as like that part,
I feel you.
But I feel like, you know, when it's people who are just taking shots, who are talking about people and they have no idea what's going on, as opposed to just bigging them up. That's what I mean when I say hate, or even not saying anything, because how many people come to you privately and be like, I'm proud of you. I see everything that you're doing. Keep going. But then when it's time to publicly say those things, they don't. And I'm not trying to call those people out.
Over with.
That's what but what I'm saying to you is like, think about like how we think. If you think about yourself as an individual,
right?
Think about how many people you like, bro, that's what's up. I see you keep doing a good job. But then you might scroll past their social media and see them post a meal and be like, well, you know, he got enough likes, he got enough shares. I don't got to do it. As opposed to just being boom, boom. And I think that's where we all, again, not you, not just anybody who's watching, we all kind of fall into that, to where it's just like somebody else can do it or somebody else has done it. And we need to start pouring into each other. Yeah, we need to start pouring into each other more often and stop feeling like, oh, well, they'll do it. They're good. They'll take care of it. You know what I mean? Because there are a lot of people in Erie, Pennsylvania who are trying to do a lot of great things. And if we all start wrapping our arms around one another, we all start supporting one another, we all start loving one another, we'll beat each other. But when you talk about food though, bro, I don't think
I gotta stick with my story.
Listen, bro. Because if okay, for instance, if I'm saying I'm selling macaroni and cheese and I got it all on social media, I got the best macaroni and cheese in the city.
Yeah, I've seen some.
And you eat it, right? And you eat the macaroni and cheese.
Right.
and you feel like that macaroni and cheese is disgusting,
Mm-hmm.
because you bought it off social media, you have the right to leave a review, right? Because what I will say is, if it was banging, you gonna come on there and say it was banging, right?
I don't know. Some people be taking it to the extreme.
That's okay.
I can't. Hey,
Listen,
bro.
man, that's okay. And I'm glad I'm vegan because I don't got to deal with them type of
See?
problems. You know what I mean? But I will say this: if you are marketing, and this is just my opinion, if you are marketing something on social media, and this is how you get your audience, and this is how you get your attention, and you want everybody to like it and share and comment on it, you have to be open to the criticism and the feedback as well when it's not the greatest or it's not the best for everybody else.
So how? Because what type of crowd are you anticipating in Erie for Juneteenth?
When you say type of crowd, I want
But I'm saying, do you think that it will be a nice, successful event here in Erie?
So that's the thing, right? I think that I'm not looking at Juneteenth as an event.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at Juneteenth as a celebration.
Okay.
So I feel like there's not a Juneteenth event
Right.
that's supposed to be lit. I feel like the celebration should be spread across the entire city.
I guess I was looking more at like, because we so close in proximity to Cleveland, Buffalo, Pittsburgh.
They do events.
All those cities got, they got some big stuff going on.
They do events. We don't have nothing as big as that right now.
Right.
But we
trying to grow.
will get to that point.
Trying to grow.
But when you think about Juneteenth, it should be a celebration, and we should be able to celebrate all over the city of Erie.
Mm-hmm.
You should see it all spread out, spread across, and not necessarily like everybody needs to go to one specific event.
Right.
I believe that everybody should go support that event, to go check it out, to go see what it's looking like. But I also feel like once you go there and you tap into that, we should go back out into our community and be like, hey, they got stuff going on over there, or hey, they got stuff going on over there. Or we should engage with them, or we should interact with them. So yeah, no, we don't have an official Juneteenth No, we do. We have an official Juneteenth event in Erie through the Juneteenth celebration Erie. But as far as like Pittsburgh, how they do it, because somebody from Pittsburgh reached out to me like, oh, you know, or how Cleveland they do it. Like we haven't got there as of yet, but we're working towards building towards that. And that's why, again, it's important for us as Black people to start coming together, for us to start brainstorming ideas, for us to start exchanging resources, for us to start shopping with one another, for us to start building relationships, repairing relationships, extending the olive branch and burying the hatches, because there are people on outside looking in who will look at us like jokes. And we have the numbers, bro. Gas station, doctors, lawyers, judges, executive directors, CNAs, contractors, electricians, elected officials, CDL drivers, LPNs, like any level of life that you think of and you think in the Black community and city of Erie, like we got everything that we need.
We do.
And we need to start understanding that. We need to start figuring out how we can build on that. You know what I mean? But we done had these people here for about an hour and 20 minutes, man. We didn't cover a couple different things. You know, we didn't talk about, you know, the Carmelo Anthony situation. We didn't discuss a little bit of Donald Trump versus Stephen A. Smith. We didn't talked about Mr. Ed Brzezinski and his disrespectful comments towards Dr. Tyler Titus, and the way he talked about Mr. Andre Horton. We also talked about Juneteenth and how we can start building, start coming together. And again, when we talk about having solution-based conversations, we always want to make sure we're going to talk about everything that's going on. We're going to make sure that we air some stuff out, but ultimately we want to be talking about solutions. And we think it's important for us as people to start coming together, start identifying where your problems are, start identifying the people who you have had issues with, and figure out what can you do to make those things better. How can you repair those relationships? How can you rebuild those relationships? Because Black people in Erie, Pennsylvania, we need one another. We need to start connecting. We need to start building. And that's not to discredit or to exclude any of our allies, because we also understand there are people who are not Black, who represent us, who care for us, who stand behind us, who stand next to us. And that is appreciated. That is respected. I cannot speak against a woman. I would not encourage Brother Malcolm to speak against a woman. We are Black men speaking for the plight of the Black man in America. And if anybody is open to having a conversation about how they're affected or how they're impacted, you know, we're willing to sit down and have some conversations and see if you're somebody that would be good for this show. Yes. But that is all I have for this evening. I'm going to pass it over to Brother Malcolm and see if he got anything else for us.
I want to make sure that people understand about driving with the cell phones in the hand. It's a big topic here and across Pennsylvania. You cannot drive with that cell phone in your hand. If the police see you, they are automatically pulling you over. 9 times out of 10, you will get a ticket. Or even more, they will be asking to search your car, especially if They think you are up to something. So please don't give them that satisfaction of seeing you on that phone. I've seen a few people on social media talking about they got pulled over and they were straight getting fined and they got to pay these fines. So
You said
make
search your-
sure.
search your car.
Yeah, search your car. Like, come on now. It's summertime. Like, people is itching. People need to be safe, and people need to make sure that we don't get into them type of troubles with them. We don't want them problems. Other than that, y'all keep rocking with us. Check us out on our
Absolutely, because
What?
our episode is airing on Monday, 12:30 on Black Access Media, WICU 92.7 HD2. Make sure you check it out there. If not, you can download the app that is Black Access Media. It is on the Google Play Store as well as the Apple Store. And there's also a website. You can go to blackcess92.7.com. There you can catch some of the pre-recorded episodes of all of the different shows that are streaming on Black Access Media. We got Marcus Atkinson with Next 2.0. We got the Briefing Room with Marcus Atkinson. We got Etc. with the Wooders with Craig Woodard. We got the Morning Cook-Up with Deontay Cooley. We got the Social Impact Plight of the Black Man in America with Brother Malcolm and Deontay Cooley. We got Sav Clubhouse Music Party, and we got Brian Atterbury on there giving sports and different entertainment. We got
Drive at 5.
Listen, yeah. Oh no, I don't know if he's still on there. I'm not. Is it on there? So we got DJ Salt with the Drive at 5 also on there. So Black Access Media is growing, and there's also a launch party. That launch party is June 27th at STEM City. That is being hosted by Divinely Crowned Davina Paisley. So make sure that y'all go on the Eventbrite. Make sure that you check on the website, click on it, buy your tickets for the party. Tickets are $45. It is going to be a great time. But again, we are unlocking the culture with Black Access Media. We have the opportunity to have some conversation on the media. We have the opportunity to be able to control our narratives and tell our stories. And we want our entire community to be engaging with us. Until next time,
Hold on. Well,
Oh, go ahead, bro.
leave,
You got something? What you got?
They got some art. If you are an artist, reach out to Davina. She is looking for artists to be showcased at the party. If you are chosen after you perform, I think your music will be added to the play of Black Access Media. So you will be on the radio.
Right. They're doing a residency.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and this is a national platform.
Listen, so I mean, everybody take advantage of the opportunity. Know that we going up, we blowing up, man. So until next time, man, we appreciate everybody for signing in. We are out.
Black Access.
Black